Page 66, Minuet. The top of the page, they're introducing you to a guy that was by the name of Johann Sebastian Bach, or we call him J.S. Bach for short. He was a very important composer, or is now. I won't go into it. You can read about him. You can Google him. You'll get information on him. And this piece is written by him. Now the minuet is a type of music. It's a dance. 3/4 time. It's like a waltz, except it's a fancy dance for the aristocracy. They would do minuets. And this is what this is. This is a very well-known minuet. There's not a lot to point out here. It's in the key of G majors. With all the F's are going to be sharped. You're starting out in G position. Not going to stay there, but you are. And the first line from the second measure going to the third measure, you have G, staccato, and then reach up, just spread your hand out and get the E, the next note, and now you're in that position. Then in the last measure, the first line, you just streets out again because you got a G and then 2 G's down below. Now once you play the first G down below, you can clap your hand. You don't have to keep it there. Then in the next line, you got third finger on the C. Next measure, third finger on the B. Just crunch up a little bit. Next measure, you're crossing over the thumb to get the F sharp. And the thumb stays on the G. And then the next 2 lines are very close to the first 2 lines. Not exact, but close. The last 2 measures on the right, you're here. You're going to cross over the thumb to play the F sharp, the last note in that measure. Well, the last note in the last measure, you can play with third finger. You don't have to keep the thumb there, here. But if you'd rather play with the thumb, that's fine too. That's up to you. In the left hand, you're starting out in G position. And then, no big deal there. But look at the second line, last 2 measures. In the left hand, it's here. It's that G positioned. And then the last measure is here, and then you got to reach out to get the low D. This time you're going to stay there because the next note is a C, and that's up here too. If the next note were not a C up above, you could collapse the hand once you play the D, but keep it up there because you're going to need it. And then you can collapse it. So that measure is 1, 2, and 3, and 1. So last line, take a look at this. They're suggesting, did you see all their finger numbers? They're telling you, well, let's try their fingering out and see what happens. We have a 3, then you can put the 5th finger on the F sharp, and then a 4. They're saying a 1 on the B, and then a 2 on the C, and then a 1 again. Reach down to get that D, and collapse a little, get the thumb on the G, reach out again to get the low G. It's fine, it works. However, we don't have to cross over the thumb. There's another fingering you can use instead, so try it out, pencil it in and try it out. And that would be, we're starting out, the first measure, the last line is the same as they're saying, it's third finger. Next measure, you're playing the half note G with 4th finger, but the B, instead of using the thumb, reach out and use 3rd finger. Just move your 3rd finger up. You can skip a note with 3rd finger, it's not that hard. This way you have enough fingers, you don't have to cross the thumb. You can do the C. And so try that and see what you think. Now this minuet has a combination of slurs and staccatos. So you'll have to learn to do those. They're important. I will mention, just throwing it out there, that the original of this piece, the music written back in the 1700s like this, they didn't put in slurs and staccatos in the music. The musician was expected to know how to interpret the music. So all of these slurs and staccatos have been added later on by editors or authors of the books or whatever. Just so you know. Bach did not put in these staccatos and slurs himself. He may have played it this way, that's fine, but he just didn't put them in. They've been added later. Now, 3/4 time. I'll give us 3 counts. Let's play this together slowly. The 8th notes, remember, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and you'll be fine with it. Let's see here. 1, ready and go, and